And the hits just keep on coming. Rutgers lands its eighth recruit. Over the past few days, we get ourselves a tight end. Let's get to it. Okay, so Rutgers football continues to have success off the field recruiting, and they land a three-star tight end from North Carolina, DJ Howerton. He has committed to Rutgers this afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. He took an official visit over the weekend. Really successful weekend. Once again, congratulations to Greg Schiano and staff for closing the deals. These guys are doing a good job. Florida State was thought to be a front runner, and DJ had a lot of positive things to say about Florida State. So we win out over a historic ACC power. DJ is the number 49 tight end in this cycle. Depending on whose numbers you listen to, I'll just use on threes on number 916 recruit. In this cycle, number 39 player in North Carolina. Once again, we're expanding our footprint. Where we used to sweat over building the wall around New Jersey, being a fertile recruiting ground for top student athletes, we feel and we still need to keep our best student athletes home. But in the new world of NIL, revenue sharing, and a more national approach to NCAA athletics, and with conferences making zero geographic sense at all whatsoever, that this has provided some opportunities for us to get into the backyards of different conferences, and we're going into the SEC territory and ACC, and we're grabbing some guys, and that's a good thing. So DJ's 6'6", 220, 7 touchdowns as a junior. He played alongside. He played with 5-star Tennessee quarterback Trason Brandon. He played he played on a high school team that's used to winning and knows how to win. That's always a plus. The Grimsley team, they were 2024 North Carolina state champs, and we're number 28 in the nation. So when you look at, in the past, we've had to grab guys that were under the radar from smaller programs that really couldn't play for the big boys in the Big Ten, SEC, or even ACC. We're starting to grab guys not only from outside our backyard, but guys that come from good programs that know how to win. I mean, his team was 29-1 the past 2 seasons. So you're getting a guy that expects to win, should know how to win. He plays in line. He also plays in the slot. I expected, I'm more of an inline kind of player, but I got to tell you, he is also a receiving tight end. He had 17 catches for just under 300 yards, so he's averaging over 17 yards per catch as a tight end. And this past season, they were 16-0, so that's pretty good production for a good team. He, it's a good get. It's a good get for Scott Valone. We offered back in mid-January. Came to campus a few weeks later on his unofficial visit. And, he's a solid 3-star to high 3-star kind of guy. And I think this is the kind of guy that will be that dual threat tight end who can block. He's pretty physical in there. He can. He's not one of those finesse receiving tight end guys who, you know, the only way they can block is if they accidentally get in somebody's way. He can be physical. He gets after it. He watched some video on him. He settles into space well. He high points the ball very well. You can hit him on some quick turn-in patterns, and he can spin out of it and get some yards after catch. This is a good get. He, some quotes from him. It might have been from Scarlet Nation or the Night Report. They, meaning Rutgers, made him feel at home every time he went up there, and the education. They're also building a good football program. So we're starting to see these themes develop regarding playing in the Big Ten, feeling how the coaching staff and the players have good relationships with these potential recruits, and how they're wanted, and how the academics are good, and how they have good feelings, good vibe about the whole process. He goes on to say it was a great visit. He loved everything about it. He was always a little bit concerned. You come from the Southeast, different part of the country. Will you be able to adapt to the rough and tumble of the New York, New Jersey, Philly area? Logan Blake was his player host, and apparently, Logan told him everything he needed to know about Rutgers, and he can envision himself. DJ can envision himself as being part of the Rutgers community, and he had went on to say in quotes, outside Rutgers, maybe with some other visits, what he's looking for is an overall what feels best for him when he looks at colleges. So the fact that he is feeling comfortable with the Rutgers process is a good sign. So what I love about this, talked about this in my last video, we've seen now the process. Greg Schiano is organized, focused, process-oriented, maybe not show and win and losses, 7-6, back-to-back years. But you can see how he's going about building the program from the trenches, building the team from the inside out. He's done yeoman work in developing an offensive line. You got to have the big boys up front to be successful in the big team, in Big Ten. He's building depth, offensive line, building depth at quarterback, building depth on defense. Now, at another position of need that we've been weak at forever, building depth at tight end. Tight end is such an easy position to be able to take advantage of. Third and short, fourth and short. You need a check down. You need a quick out, quick in pattern. A guy can get open in the seam, get some easy yards. And Kirk Ciarrocca has typically not had a lot of productivity at the tight end position, but you can see that we're turning the tables in that regard. So at 6'6", 220, DJ, he's going to grow. He's going to be a bigger guy. If he's 6'7" and 230, 240, he's going to have the athleticism and size to grow into legitimate dual threat tight end. And now we have some depth. He joins Brady Owens, transfer Colin Weber. We got Kenny Fletcher and Mike Higgins. You can see how whether it's the offensive line, the quarterback position, the running back position, how we're building athleticism and depth at positions of need. We're taking the steps. We're building the blocks. We have the building blocks to be a legitimate Big Ten team. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean we'll win the Big Ten Conference? Maybe not, probably not. But we've made big strides in recruiting kinds of players culturally, physically, and athletically that we need to bring into the program to be legit. I mean, when you look at our tight ends, I mean, we had an ex-quarterback, Johnny Langan, who we all love Johnny. He put in the work, put in the effort. Sean Bowman didn't really turn out to be the guy who you thought he might be when he transferred in. Johnny Langan had, his most productive years, when was it, 2-3 years ago? 30, 31 catches, under 300 yards. Before that, it was Jerome Washington. When was that? 2016, 2017, 28 catches, 280 some odd yards. And, he was a local guy. He was like 6'4", 250 pounds. But if we're getting bigger, more athletic guys coming from highly touted programs, you have to love that. So good job getting physical guys with athleticism that have big upside, and I think DJ has some big upside. We now have, 16 recruits. Let's go through the list. We're near number 14 in the country last year. Around this time, we were inside the top 10. We'll wind up around 30-ish, which is great. But again, it's not about on paper, not about the marketing, not about the spotlight, not about the shine, but executing on the field. We need to stay healthy and execute. So our 2026 recruits, 4 stars. We got wide receiver Dysir Carter, outside linebacker Whitey Collier. We have nickel Chris Hewitt Jr. He doesn't, we got to talk more about him. Offensive lineman Jared Smith, offensive tackle Tyler Duell, and the rest are 3-star guys. Elias Koch, wide receiver, and some of these guys, now that they're in the system and committed to Rutgers, will probably move up, and we'll be reading stories about that. Linebacker Joey Kopech, linebacker Donovan Johnson, safety Sebastian Cruz, cornerback Brandon Murray, offensive tackle Cameron Green, who I think will probably grow into a 4-star. Quarterback Xavier Stern, he's another one. He's a big boy, 6'5", 6'6", throws with accuracy, has a pretty good arm. And you want to keep an eye on him. Hopefully nobody pilfers him like that other Gavin from Pennsylvania that we lost. Tyrell Simpson, offensive tackle, wouldn't be shocked if he turned into a 4-star. Offensive lineman guard Logan Anthony, linebacker Adam Shaw, Brady Owens, tight end athlete Ronaldo Callaway, and tight end DJ Howerton. So overall, a really good class for Rutgers. We're getting off to a good start, building momentum. We'll see how the rest of the class shakes out. Still waiting on the news for athletic director football, Greg Schiano, and staff doing a good job. So congratulations to everybody. That's it for now. We'll see you the next time. See if we have any more. Boy, it's raining recruits, so we'll see what goes on, and we'll talk to you soon.